Hi everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this shaker Valentine card out of Echo Park's Hello Valentine paper collection that I received from Country Craft Creations. I just used some of the scraps that I had left over, and I used a die from Country Craft Creations to make the shaker. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. First I will show you exactly what I used. So here are the supplies that I used to make my shaker card. I used a flower punch to make my flowers here, and then I shaped them with my shaping tool, and then I added some seed beads in the center of two of them, and then I just put one of the elements from the package here, the doodads that I received from Country Craft Creations, in the other two. I used a die, this Heartfelt Creations die with the leafy accents that I purchased from Country Craft Creations to make my leaves. So I have several of these that I punched out or die cut out, and then I added some texture paste and glitter to them. So this is the one here on the bottom that I used to punch out or die cut out to create the leaves. Now I've already made my shaker heart and added my doodads in that, which were the pink frosting embellishments from Country Craft Creations, and I will show you how to make a shaker at the end of this video with this Heartfelt Creations die that I purchased from or received in my design team package from Country Craft Creations. So to start off, take your cardstock and cut it to 5 inches by 10. Sorry, cut it to 5 inches by 10. Then score and fold in half the 10-inch side. I've already glued this piece of paper from the collection here on the front, and it was cut at 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. So you glue that on. On the inside, I took another piece of the pattern paper from the Hello Valentine Echo Park collection. Also cut that to 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my art glitter glue and glue that to the bottom inside of my card. Now both patterns would look nice, but I'm going to go ahead and use the small hearts. So I just put glue around the edges and then some in the center, and then line that up here on the inside of the card. And burnish it down so that it'll get all the air bubbles out. And then I took a solid piece from the same collection of pink, and I cut that down smaller to about a 4 by 4, and I'm going to put that in the center so you have a place to write your message. Now this is going to be a card that you can't put in an envelope to mail because it's going to have too much thickness and dimension. It's just going to be one that's pretty that you can tuck in a gift that you want to give to someone. So I'll burnish this down. So that's where we'll write our message. And then I took another 4 7/8 by 4 7/8 piece of the pink solid, and I'm going to glue that on the top because I just want to finish up the inside and make it real pretty on the inside. So just make sure you line that up, and then also smooth it out and burnish it down to get out all the air bubbles. Okay, so that's the inside for now. I will be adding some stickers. And now I'm going to go ahead and place my shaker. And as I said, I will show you how to make a shaker element like this at the end of this video, using the Heartfelt Creation dies that I received in a design team package from Country Craft Creations. So I'm just putting glue on the back of the heart, and I'm going to center it here on my card front. I'm going to open that up so it lays down flatter. Now I chose to make this one all white with the pink sparklies and embellishment doodads there on the inside. Again, those are called pink frosting, and I did get those from Country Craft Creations. Next, I took that last little bit of ribbon, the buffalo check ribbon from Country Craft Creations that I had left. This was all I had left. I dovetailed the ends, both ends, and I tied it together with some of the red button string that I got in my design team package and made a bow with the button string. And I'm just going to glue that here on the left side of the heart using my art glitter glue. So I'm just pressing it down really good and make sure the glue grabs. And then I'm going to take some of my leaves that I've die cut, and I'm going to arrange them around the heart. And again, I'm going to use art glitter glue to attach these down. Now I did cut these die cut leaves apart so that would have the sizes that I wanted to use. So I have 3 pieces out of that. I have the one at the top, and then I'm going to put 2 smaller ones down here at the bottom. So you just arrange them the way you want it to look. I think it'll be real pretty with one kind of here at the bottom of the point of the heart, and then one on the right side, and then of course that one at the top. So I'm just applying some of the glue, not solid, so little bits of them do still stick up to kind of give it some dimension. And the glitter in here on these is really, really pretty. You can't see it probably here in the video, but in the photo of the card you can kind of tell. Now I'm going to go ahead and arrange. I have the 4 flowers, and 2 have a little rhinestone from the bits and pieces or the doodads that are in the shaker, and 2 of them have the white seed beads. So I'm going to put one of each, one at the top and then one of each at the bottom. So I'm just arranging them and putting glue. I'm going to put art glitter glue and attach these down. So again, these were punched out of with a smaller flower die, punch, not a die. You could use a die. I used a punch, and then I took my Heartfelt Creations shaping tool, shaped the petals, and then added the white seed beads in 2 of the flowers and a pink rhinestone from the doodads in the other 2. So I'm just going to arrange 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. And they were punched out of the pink, which has the black on the other side, the pink solid coordinating paper for the Echo Park Hello Valentine paper collection. So now here on the center of my bow, I'm going to add a vintage button that I took from a stash, and I did thread in a little bit of the red button string or jute string that you can order from Country Craft Creations. So any button, I'm using a black one that's vintage, and I'm just going to glue it and press it there on the center. And then from the collection on the border strip where it tells you what the name of the collection is, it says Hello Valentine, I cut one down, and I'm going to use that on the front of my card. And you do need some little foam dots because of the dimension of the shaker heart. I'm going to glue this across on one side, and on the end that comes off of that, it does need to be lifted up a bit. So I'm going to glue, for sure, put 2 on 2 of the dots together, and then I'm going to check that and see if I need a third one. So I've got 2 stuck together. So this part glues onto the heart over the plastic, and then I need to add one more. So I'm going to pull the backing off, stick another foamy square onto that. So I have 3 layers of foam on the end of my little saying. And then I'll put glue on the rest of it, and then I'll stick that down right above the leaves on the right side. So I'm grabbing my glue, my art glitter glue, and I'm going to put that on the paper part. Stick that down above the leaves over the shaker, and then let the foam dots take care of the part that sticks over the side. Okay, I like how that looks. So now I'm just deciding that I do want to put probably some kind of clip here on the right side to hold it closed. I've taken a Tim Holtz clip and I've tied a bit of that red jute button string to it through one of the holes, and I'm going to use it to clip the side of my card so that it stays closed. And then here on the back, so that you don't lose your clip, I'm going to move it up a little bit to see how it looks. I'm going to attach that base of that string or the end of the string onto the back of the card, and I'm going to use excuse me, a sticker from the collection sheet. So I'm looking it over, and I think I like this one here that says love letters. It's got the little envelopes with the heart. So I am going to use glue on this to make sure that it stays stuck down. And I'm going to think that I probably need to use a little bit of Scotch tape. So let me grab some of that. And take just a small piece. I don't want to lay my sticker down and lose it. I'm going to take a small piece of Scotch tape, and I'm just going to tape the end of that string right there on the bottom of my card to secure it. And then I'm going to glue and stick the sticker down over the string to hold it in place. And so it puts a little decorative element here on the back. I'm just going to make sure it sticks down good and make sure it's on straight. So I'm lifting it and moving it a little bit. Okay, so that looks better. So I'm going to press it down good and burnish it over that string to hold that in place. So then when you take your clip off to open the card, it stays attached. So now I think that here on the inside, I want to put a decorative sticker in there. So I'm looking over these again. There's lots to choose from. There's lots of fun stickers in this collection. And I really like, I think I like the little banner with the hearts. And so that looks like, yeah, that's just going to fit perfectly over that 4-inch square. So I'm going to use some glue to make sure it stays stuck down, because sometimes they do peel up and you don't want that happening. So hopefully someone will love this card if you make them a card and kind of keep it as a keepsake. So let's make sure that it's going to stay put together good. So let's put some glue on that sticker and then just place it over the top where your message will go. Okay, so that's really pretty. I like how that looks. I'm going to clip that together. And that is a 5x5 shaker card. I'm going to trim off the ends of my string here just a little bit to kind of tidy it up and look it over. And I don't think it needs anything else. I think it's perfect just this way. Okay, so now we're ready to get started on making a shaker so that you will know how to make a shaker for your card. Okay, so to make a heart-shaped shaker for your card, like I did on this one, I did this one in white. This one's going to be in pink and red. So you're going to need a set of heart dies. Now these are the Heartfelt Creations dies that I got in my design team package from Country Craft Creations called Eyelet Hearts. And you get, let's see, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the scallops and 4 of the plain hearts. And then you get this little border strip here. It's a good heart die set to have. for Valentine cards, for decorating Valentine pages, or wedding book, or baby book even, if you wanted to use it for that. So you're also going to need to make a shaker, some foam tape. Now this is the white, the very narrow size that I got from Country Craft Creations. It is a 0.12 inch size width. So you want to get that. Right there on the bottom it says 0.12 inch. And so it's very narrow, and that's what you need to make a shaker. It makes it a lot easier that way. So I die cut the main piece, the first heart, out of this pink plaid, out of the scallop. So I used the largest one right here. So that's the base piece. And then to make the back piece out of red, I used the larger plain heart. And then I used the larger plain heart again and the next size down to make a frame. So you cut them at the same time. You layer them together. You layer for the frame, you lay the two dies together, and then you have the pink one, the center, that you don't need. You can set that aside for another project. Then you're also going to want to take your plastic. I use transparency sheets. You could use packaging, a good piece of plastic. And you're going to die cut the larger plain heart again. And then you're also going to need some sparklies, some doodads. This is the pink frosting again. I'm going to use that again, the same that I used on my other card. Okay, so I'm going to set the tools aside and the foam tape package, but you do need the foam tape. And we're going to start assembling. So the first thing we're going to do is I like to use art glitter glue because it dries clear to attach the plastic heart to the back side of my frame piece. So I'm just putting a line of the art glitter glue all the way around. So you're going to seal this plastic down on that. And it's easier to use the art glitter glue instead of score tape because you can move your plastic once it's attached. Just put it down very carefully so it doesn't ooze glue everywhere. But you can move it a little bit to make sure it lines up and you don't have plastic sticking out where you don't want it. So you want to do that. And then I'm going to stop for now, set this aside, and I'm going to let this dry for just a little bit. But it's going to fit down over this red piece like that. Okay? So just let it dry. The next step is to put our foam tape on. The plastic is dry and attached to the frame. So now we're ready to put our foam tape. So what I like to do is take a piece of the very narrow foam tape, and I'm using the white. You can get this in black from Country Craft Creations. And then I go ahead and I pull the paper backing off so it's sticky on both sides. It tends to be able to mold around the shape if it doesn't have the paper on it. So I'm going to start down here at the point of the heart, and I'm going to put this close to the edge of the clear part, but not into the clear because you don't want it showing from the other side. So just gently curve it around using your fingers to make it curve around the shape of the heart. And sometimes you may have to pull it up and reposition it if you have to. And of course, one piece is not going to go all the way around. So once I get this one on, I'm going to go ahead and pull another piece of the foam tape off the package. And I have a little bit of the paper still on this little one end here that I missed. But that's okay. So I'll pull that off. So now it's sticky. So take another one. I'm going to pull the backing off of it. Just one little single strip. And I'm going to restart where I ended. And you just have to curve it a little bit here where the V of the heart is. So you curve it around there in that little V. Just make sure it doesn't show into the clear. You want to make sure you're staying within the frame. Push back some of it if you need to, and just keep shaping it around the back side of your frame of your shaker piece. And 2 pieces strips will cover this heart frame. There at the very end, pull it a little bit to make sure that it matches the other one. You don't want any gaps. You want to make sure none of your sparkly bits fall through. So I'm looking it over, make sure nothing shows. If I see something where I think some of the white is showing, I'm going to reposition it or just push it back a little bit with my fingernail so that it's not showing. Got a little bit right here I want to readjust. Especially there on that V, at the top of the V there, it's kind of a little tricky. Okay, so I think it looks good. So it's sticky, but I'm going to take a little bit of glue. But first, we're going to put our doodads, our little sparkly bits in there. So I've transferred mine from the package to a bag because I thought that was easier for me to pour them out than the package that they came in. So I'm just going to pour some into the center. I'm going to try to stay in the center of the plastic here so that none of these stick to the foam. And now you want enough for it to look pretty and sparkly, but you don't want so much that it's falling out or coming out over the foam edge. So I'm kind of moving them around with my fingers. So I think that's a good amount. And if you have any that are stuck on your foam, like I have one right here, I'm going to just kind of move it off and make sure it's into the center of my shaker piece here. Now I am taking the art glitter glue, and on top of the foam tape, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue to kind of make sure that it stays secure, because I've had the backing off this foam and it might have lost some of its tackiness while I was placing it down. So I'm just going to make sure that it all stays together. And then also I'm going to seal up that point down there where the two met down at the bottom, where it might have been a little bit short, to make sure nothing falls out. Then take your piece. Now you could put this on just the plaid, but it's easier to take a piece that's the same size as your shaker part and just match it over that very carefully, matching up your points, and then with your fingers burnish around the edge. And there it is. Now, if a little bit is showing that you don't want it to show it around the top, you can take your scissors and trim some of that off. But I think mine's okay, and I'm just shaking it up to get things moving around. And now I'm ready to put this piece onto the lacy big background. So I'm going to put glue all over the back of this heart and then center it onto the back piece. And I love how it turned out with the pink and the red and the pink doodads in this inside. So press that down with your fingers. And I'm going to press on the back. And there we have it. We have a shaker for another card. Similar to the one that I did for the card that I just shared. Of course, it is all white, and this one's in color. So I'm going to use this on a different little card that I'll be making later with this paper collection. So I want to thank you so much for following along on this tutorial. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel by clicking down below near the description where it says subscribe. And then if you want, click the bell so that you'll be notified of my next upload. I'll be having something else to share really soon. Plus, I'm working on my junk journal series for Country Craft Creations, and always check countrycraftcreations.com for your crafting supplies, especially if you want to be making some Valentines and things. You're going to find some lovely collections for that, and then the exclusive collection from Country Craft Creations for Valentine's. So thanks everyone. Check back, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.